iGrindNation podcast. What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like?
And what's going on, everybody? This is Keith Burrows from the What's Your Grind podcast, episode 4. I'm so honored to have a very special guest here with me today, Miss Tyneika Bond. We are going to get all into everything that she's about, starting with Little Miss T. But please go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi guys, what up, what up, what up? I am Tyneika Bond, proud CEO and creator of Little Miss T LLC, and I am super uber excited to be here, and that is no cap.
I want to start with the basics.
Okay.
What was the inspiration behind Little Miss T?
Okay, so oh my gosh, Little Miss T is me. I am the inspiration.
Yes.
I grew up in, little Baltimore City.
Shout out Baltimore.
A little shout out to P. Moore. I grew up in Baltimore, and everyone knew me. My nickname was TT.
Mm-hmm.
And around, I would say 9-ish or so, people started calling me Little Miss T.
Okay.
Because they said I was always more mature, grown, and I knew exactly what I wanted at a very young age, and it kind of stuck with me.
Okay. What made you decide to step into entrepreneurship? I know the reason that I stepped into entrepreneurship is because I wanted the autonomy to just be my own. Okay.
Call my own shots.
Absolutely.
And by the way, I'm going to be very clear. I do not feel that working is wrong. So I just want to be very clear about that. A lot of people think when sometimes when you're talking to an entrepreneur is talking to someone that works a 9 to 5, they're like, oh, you got to do it with everything. Some people are, they can do both, and I am definitely a woman of many
talents.
Yes, many talents. And I knew I wanted to get into ownership, just entrepreneurship and owning my own, because 1, I wanted something to leave my children. Mm-hmm. And 2, I just wanted the autonomy to be able to be creative, however creative and passionate I am about something without anyone telling me I can't.
And to your point, I always said that if I wasn't an entrepreneur, mm-hmm. I do not have a problem with going to get a job.
Come on.
As a black man, you have to take care of your family.
Can we say that?
And pride is not an issue when it comes to taking care of the ones that you love. So, yes, this show is about entrepreneurship. This show is all about taking those steps to become an entrepreneur and living as an entrepreneur. But shout out to everybody that's out there with a 9 to 5 job. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Absolutely. I feel that I was having this conversation just recently with my boyfriend, and he's an entrepreneur, and I was just saying, like, now you can tell when it's in your bones.
Yeah.
And when you're meant to be one. And I was just saying, like, it's not for everybody, though. It's not.
Yeah.
And you have to be, guys, it has took me so long to kind of, I was in and out, like, with different things. And now I finally kind of landed on the thing, right?
Yes.
And so I've taken steps, big financial steps.
Yeah.
It was a big, what I'm talking about. I told you.
We're going to get into that too.
Yes. But I did it because, for one, I believe in myself. Yes. More than anybody, I believe in me. And I know that I'm a woman that definitely follows through, and I know what I want. And so I knew that taking that next step to secure what I wanted to do on my own was vital.
It was important, yeah. So what unique qualities do you think that an entrepreneur must possess in order to make it in today's dynamic world?
Flexibility. That's the first thing. You have to be extremely flexible. Here's why. Because oftentimes you're going to be working, it's not just you. You're becoming an entrepreneur, but you have to learn how to build bridges with people. It's like, you build this system and then you all can work together.
Absolutely.
So you have the flexibility of someone else's schedule. So everybody it's not on your time.
In talking about flexibility,
Yes.
can you explain some of the challenges that you experienced early on creating Little Miss T? Let the people know about that experience.
Wow. So you definitely had a firsthand seat.
I did.
So guys, when I first started Little Miss T, I wanted so many different parts. I wanted Little Miss T to be the big umbrella, and I wanted to do different things underneath of the umbrella. The biggest challenges were for me was trying to meet deadlines on people's time. I'm paying for products, not getting stuff on time. I have to, somebody is doing something for me, then I have to wait till they are ready. Maybe I'm at work and it's not lining up. That was the major challenge, was the product piece. That I was putting out. I just did a whole revamp of Little Miss T, where I am now. It was like, okay, let me put this and let me see if this is going to be the thing that sells. I did really well in the little merch that I was selling.
Sure.
But now it was time. I had a vision for something bigger.
Absolutely.
And so now Little Miss T has definitely dabbed into wine.
So we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. We're definitely going to get to that.
We're going to get to that.
So initially, you started off, because the people probably don't know this. If you're watching this right now, you could go to littlemisst.com and kind of take a look at the website and the vision, the early on vision of what we were looking at for Little Miss T. But you were selling merchandise. You had some really nice merchandise that you were selling, like the duffel bag. Can you explain the reasoning behind some of the merch that you were selling for Little Miss T?
So the reasoning behind what kind of gave me that inspiration to sell the duffel bags and the wine bags, I'm a woman on the go, and I love things that are accessible to me, that are quick, that I can always use.
Yes.
I always need a traveling bag. I always need a T-shirt to put on.
Right.
Whether I'm coming from the gym or I'm going somewhere, something may spill on you. I was thinking with that mindset, how can I have some merch that I knew that would be useful to others?
Because a lot of people have merchandise that's not useful, and you end up throwing it away or end up going in a pile somewhere.
Right.
So what I loved about your brand, one, was it was aesthetically pleasing. It was very nice. And you even had a date night package. You created these packages for couples, and it was so thoughtful. It was so thought driven that, I love that. I want for us to talk about where you're going now. What direction is the Little Miss T brand going into now? And how does it feel being on this level, playing at this level now?
Wow. Can I get a little transparent with you?
Yes,
and the
please.
People? Guys, don't think, normally and oftentimes this happens when people see me. They see a well put together person, right? Yeah. On all fronts, academically, socially, I'm good. But when it came to entrepreneurship, it was so much that I did not know, Keith.
Yeah.
So it took me a minute where I had to sit within myself, do a little crying, do a little readjusting, a little planning, and praying. The biggest thing.
Say it again, right?
God said, "This is what I'm taking you through. This you're learning.
Yeah.
It's not a waste, right?" And so now I took the time to revamp. I've been working on trying to find there. I don't care. There is a very, huge shortage of Black wine owners.
Right. I personally don't know.
So on Instagram, I've seen a couple.
Okay.
One in Maryland, and then one, I think some Black Oak Club or something in Philly or something. But it's not. But they don't have access. They're getting the wine from someone else too. So It's we have to start trying to figure out ways to create our own. I love wine, guys. I took kind of all my passions and put them into one, like the love of like just supporting other women.
Sure.
My love of love, like I love love. My love of wine. And I said, okay, I gotta bring this together. So Little Miss T is still the umbrella,
Yeah.
but now I'm bringing wine into it. I found a venue. Well,
Okay.
I said not a venue, a vineyard. Sorry, who it took 6 months to work out a deal with them.
Yeah. Yeah. The
And I'm
vineyards
gonna
don't
tell
play.
you, they do not play,
don't
and
play,
I'm gonna tell
yeah.
you, they're not black. And it was hard to find people that want to take the chance and a risk, right? Then I was traveling back and forth to Canada and made some connections there.
Oh,
So I have two connections now, and
nice.
I am now, the wine is being fermented. I cannot wait to get things popping.
I have a really good question for you. So,
And that's not all, though.
yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna get to
Okay.
but to that point, you're like a gatekeeper right now of this industry. You said that there really isn't that much African American, especially women, representation in this field. So you're trailblazing. You're setting the standard for what the future will be.
Wow.
And I want people to understand just how important that is. And it's not glamorous when you don't have shoulders to stand on ever. It's hard. Like,
Thank
even
you.
when it comes down to doing this
Thank you.
podcast, this podcasting thing is not easy
Not
at all.
easy.
So when you get into position, this is a stupid question because I know the answer, but when you get into position, are you willing to help other people also follow behind you, and once you get your foot in the door and wedged open?
It's so funny you said that. Wasn't you and I just talking about
We
this in the
were.
hall
We
less
were.
than 2 minutes ago? Listen, you are nothing if you don't give back. I taught that to my kids. My kids are grown now, and I taught that to them. You are nothing if you never give back. You have to always reach back and try to help someone else. It's so much that I don't know. And I call you on the record just to pick your brain about something, but also understanding that, yes, you're out, you're doing this thing, but listen, you can't always do everything alone. Don't be afraid to ask questions,
Yeah.
and to reach out and connect. And you do, when you get to a certain place. And Keith, this is why I had, when I first decided to go into business, I had like an all woman panel, and had that aired that night, and I had girlfriends in different sectors. Salon, one was an event. She does event stuff, decor. One she owns a hair salon, and another one does traveling agency. So I had us all come together just to share in our talents, because I believe it's important to like giving back. I don't care if my platform is large or small. I'm always going to reach out like, hey, let's connect.
Absolutely.
Let's share this,
Do you think that I think that for 2024, it is literally the year of collaboration. You know, what the biggest thing that I'm taking from my career is that I cannot do this alone. I don't want to do this alone.
Can we say that?
Like, for so many entrepreneurs that I meet, that I know, they are so prideful about, I do everything myself. You cannot successfully. Tim Cook runs Apple. Tim Cook is not a programmer. And
No.
even if he is, he's not programming right now. He's not the designer. He has people in place, and the product that comes from it is a reflection of him. But we have to understand that we need to come together in order to push our objectives forward. So,
Can we talk about that?
yeah.
What you just spoke is big facts. Oftentimes, and I'm gonna admit this. I have this thing that I want to do it. Like I can do it. I can do
Yeah.
all things, right? It's a fear of letting somebody else do it, because it's a fear of it not being done correctly. And I know if I do it, it's going to be done right. So it even creates anxiety.
Yeah.
In me, I'm speaking facts right now. And so I had to tell myself, listen, there's a reason that people are in positions to do things. Even when I started podcasting, I just told you guys just like a second ago, I bought all that daggone equipment and I'm doing it wrong. I didn't know how. I'm still passionate about it, want to do it, but I didn't, it's still learning.
We're going to help you with that.
I know you are.
We're going to help you with that.
And it's like, but you can't, I had to tell Tyneika, you cannot do this by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. And it's okay. And when you said you don't want to, nor do I want to.
No.
I don't want to.
No. So what else are you embarking upon right now?
I'm so excited. Guys, if you don't know, I've been a teacher for 20 plus years. Yes, 20 plus years. I've taught in middle school. I've taught in elementary, cross grade level. And this year is definitely my last year. I am announcing that on live. Oh my gosh.
It's official. It's official now.
It is definitely official. And I have not said this to my boyfriend knows. I talked to you. I am leaving. This is my last year. I am hanging up my hat. And I decided to also open my own Head Start. I'm doing just pre-K and K. I went 4 classrooms and I'm doing all the groundwork right now. I am 100% certain that I am not returning to education.
This is big news.
Yeah.
This is news to me. I didn't know that either. That's
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So first off, right, I watch you on social media and I just see how passionate you are about education. Mm-hmm. And it makes you warm inside to know that there are still people that care about other people's children.
Yes.
The way you raise your own. Mm-hmm. And so to say that, okay, you're now going to create your own pathway for little ones, for little learners, that is amazing. So
it starts when they're young. Being a teacher for so long, I from pre-K to K on up through middle school, and what I do know is that foundation has to be laid very early, and pre-K and K is exactly when it happens, where the learning starts. And I want to partake in that to make sure that I am setting them up for success, and that they are able to enter their first steps into school knowing well beyond what they need to. And I am very passionate about that. Education will never leave me. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm passionate about it. I've always been. I always will be.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, do you think that post-pandemic that slowed down or was success it slowed down entrepreneurs, or was that something that created a new bubble of entrepreneurs?
That's a good question. I think it's a little of both. I'm going to tell you, for the people who are already entrepreneurs, I feel that they were a little bit shook by it because financially it was a scare. Their everyday hustle was to get out, had to be in contact with people daily, around people, and it hurt a lot of small businesses, And on the other hand, you had people such as myself. I was still getting paid, even home, even on breaks. I'm always being paid, and so what else can I do? Oh, I can tap into this and generate, maybe it's an market that's untapped, and I can get into this and maybe expand. So I think it's a little bit of both.
How do Tyneika Bond keep your creative juices flowing? Because you are so I've never seen you not smiling. You're always smiling. You're always coming up with, structure for things. I think it's the educator in you. But you're always so positive. How do you keep the creative juices flowing?
Self-checking, praying, and surrounding myself with positive people. I'm going to tell you something. So if you got to be able to check yourself, and most people can't do that. And I have really hard reality checks within. Praying consistently. I'm going to tell you, I'm not here to tell you who your faith is. Whoever you believe in is who you believe in. But when I'm telling you the power of God is amazing, I'm speaking, I'm testifying, and I'm claiming it, right? To just say, I've watched God work in my life on issues that I was just at a dead stop, not knowing what to do. And saying, God, please guide this path. And God has done just that. And next, you have to have yourself surrounded. Think about this. If you surround yourself brown people to have minimum thinking.
Yeah.
And it's no shot at nobody saying you're not smart or anything. But if you don't surround yourself with people who are positive, who have even if they are not huge creatives, right?
Yeah.
You want somebody who has the mindset to bring some type of joy into your space, right? And I had too many hard times, Keith.
Yeah.
So like this part of this life that I'm living, and it needs to be nothing but joy.
Yes.
And so that's kind of how I keep myself,
Wow.
those creative juices flowing. And believe it or not, definitely, I don't care what nobody says about social media. Social media, it's what you use it for.
It is.
People say, oh, it's this and this. Guys, you have to be able to check your own self. Social media keeps me going. Creative.
It's literally your choice
Yeah.
of what you're going to do with it. A good friend of mine said that positivity breeds positivity.
Ooh.
So it's almost like the equity of your life. What you're putting into your life is what you're going to get out. I don't pay attention to negativity. I don't, life is way too precious right now. Like you said, listen, you from B-More, I'm from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Come on.
So this side of my life has to be about positivity. It has to be about elevation and growth. And how can people get in contact with you?
So guys, if you're interested in knowing all things Little Miss T, please go to www.littlemissT.com, where you'll see links for my podcast. You'll see links. You'll see Coming Soon the wine, and then you'll see Little Miss T Learning Facility coming as well.
Let's talk about the podcast for a second.
Oh
my
gosh.
I'm not going to lie.
It's some spicy stuff on there, Keith.
But your podcast inspired me to create a podcast.
Wow.
And I'm this first time I'm saying this on camera.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, because
the person who always inspires me, y'all.
you kicked a wall in with going public with your podcast and, creating really good, rich content. And it honestly, it gave me the confidence to sit here and now do this. Wow. So
unapologetic.
Let's talk about your podcast. Let everybody know about your podcast, how they can see it and support your channel.
Guys, listen, I always get a little giddy when I talk about it. Everything I put out is 100% real. I do not cap. I have gotten a lot of feedback about sharing things, personal things about my life. And let me tell you what I told someone, Keith. My kid's moral perception of me is already formed. Okay?
Right.
I was a great mother.
Right.
Still is.
You raised them.
Yes,
Right.
I raised them. I have adults. So I talk about adult experiences. I talk about a lot of Black women are shamed for talking about sexuality or their experiences. And yeah, you do keep some things private. I don't share everything.
Right.
But my experiences that I feel that I can uplift and help other women that may go through things or something that maybe a man needs to see it from another woman's perspective,
It's empowerment.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And so my podcast, guys, Talks with Little Miss T podcast. And again, you can get any link from littlemisst.com. Just trying to make sure I put that out there.
Absolutely.
But my podcast, I took a pause. I told Keith, I was feeling like, hey, I can't get this thing right. And it was the behind the scenes stuff, like the content and all that stuff is there.
Shout out Keith S.
Yeah.
In the back. Production.
Yes. But when I tell you, I put it all out on the table. Like all, from raising kids, family, dating, because dating in your 40s is trauma. But and I still, and even all that, people, my family, like one thing about you, you'll never give up on love. Like I never will.
You shouldn't.
I love love. I love life, and I'm gonna live it.
Yes.
And so that podcast, y'all, it's some spicy stuff.
Spicy. Ooh,
yes.
Spicy. All right. So what are your future plans for Little Miss T? We know that you have the wines coming and are you going to open up a facility or a place? Yep.
So I thought about, I had to think about this long and hard because I made a huge financial move, guys, to invest in myself. And I was just sitting here trying to think like, okay, it was for opening up an actual space where I can have people come. I thought about that and I said, okay, I have to take this money and I have to be really smart about it. Mm-hmm. What else can I do with it?
Yeah.
So while I was going to do that, I said, let me utilize the resources I have. My boyfriend owns a venue space.
Nice.
I can host things there. And then I can also take my money and actually invest it inside of starting a child care facility.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
So it was I split it. So I wanted to be able to do more than one thing with it because a building space and land I was looking at would have just took it all.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be very smart about this decision because it was definitely a huge financial,
And it's a collaboration. This is what I'm telling you. In 2024 is the year of collaboration.
Yes.
So, we all coming together. We're creating. We're building. I'm very, very happy that you are the first woman on my show.
When you said that to me, I screamed. When they
so
first
happy
called me
about
up,
that.
Keith called me up. Listen, I don't ever miss a call from my big bro. I think I was teaching in the classroom and I was like, I was at work. I'm sorry. And I didn't text you. It would never happen again. And when he told me the first woman, because I'm going to be honest, shout out to Kia. I was like, he's like, no, it's going to be, no, people, that would be too obvious.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
okay, yes. I was just lost for words, very humble, and very appreciative. Because I said from the moment when I met you that like you lit a light in me. You gave me my first opportunity is what I said.
Wow.
Because I had took this vision to other people and no, you should do it this, you should do that. You should do this instead. Oh, no, don't do that. Go into this first. Do something with just education. And I was like, no, I'm doing this first.
Absolutely.
And you believed in me. From the time I came in through the door, you said, we're going to do this. Never getting frustrated, never shutting it down. We're going to get it to what you want it to look like.
Yeah.
And with even the website alone, just playing with that. It's so many different layers that people don't know about when it comes to entrepreneurship. But I'm constantly fine tuning and thinking of how I can do something better. Yeah.
So you definitely are welcomed here at any time.
Thank you. Because I will be back.
Yes. We appreciate you so much. I just want to say that this episode today is sponsored by Little Miss T. Go to littlemissT.com. I need you guys to learn everything about Little Miss T. I need you to check out her podcast and definitely support her because that's what we're doing in 2024 is all positivity and we're networking.
Yes.
Literally, this show is about networking.
Yes.
Our sponsor also for today is Mood and Senses. Go to moodandsenses.com.
Which I love the products.
Oh, man. Thank you.
That candle, let me tell you,
Thank
that candle good. That candle's good.
Yeah, we moving. Moving.
Yes.
And shout out production. Shout out to production, Keith S., the Mr. Know-It-All podcast. It airs every week.
I love that.
Every week, 170 episodes, 169.5 episodes. And we look forward to the episode airing early January. So shout out Keith S. and shout out everybody who helps this podcast. Shout out my wife, Kia Caldwell Photography.
Yes.
And this is the first time I'm going to talk about a new venture that we're going to get into. It's called Creatives. I'm going to just leave it there, though.
Oh, and I'm excited, y'all.
Yes. We moving. We got things rocking.
Moving and grooving.
Let's go. Episode 4.
Bye, everybody.
So shout out everybody. This is episode 5. This ain't 4. This is 5.
Well, listen.
So okay, we're not even going to cut that.
No,
it's episode 5.
I didn't cut it out of one of mine. Did you know I made the same exact mistake on my own podcast?
And he told me to stop saying the episode numbers.
And I said, is that what I should stop doing? I'm going to tell you, I made the same mistake. I didn't cut it. I said, at the end, I said, guys, actually, this is episode.
Yeah, this is episode 5, guys. So thank you.
Look at that.
iGrindNation podcast. What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like?